Oh, Ellen, I thought I told you not to open the shop.
Well, I've got to do me bit to help.
Yes. Were there any messages?
Oh, yes, some nun phone.
A nun?
Yes, some Sister Mersey.
Mercy, Ellen. Mercy. Mersey is where the Beatles come from. What did she want?
Well, I don't know. She just phoned, that's all.
For God's sake, woman, can't you even get a simple message right?
Well, she talked funny.
Yeah, well, she's not the only one. Ellen, what have you done with the sales invoice book? Ellen!
What's that, Jude?
Oh, forget it. I'll find it myself.
Hey, you seem pretty disorganized.
My God. What the hell are you doing here?
Well, that's a nice welcome after all this time. Didn't you get my message?
I got a garbled message about a Sister of Mersey, New Jersey. I had no idea it was my own sister.
You might at least say you're glad to see me.
I'm sorry, friend. It's been a hell of a shock, that's all. I need a little time. Girls, I want some privacy, okay? Would you mind the shop?
Oh, I've already done my stink. Can't they do it?
I want all of you to do it, please.
Boy, they sure know how to make a girl feel at home.
I just think they're a bit wary of strangers, that's all.
But we're not strangers, are we, sweetie?
Aren't we, friend? I mean, 25 years is a long time. People change. I certainly have.
Oh, well, sure. Me too. Well, for one thing, I'm not a Bryant anymore. Do you remember Wilbur Hunter?
Wilbur? Yeah, wasn't he that guy with the permanent razor rash?
That's right. We celebrated our 21st wedding anniversary last fall. You're an aunt now.
That's great. Well, as a matter of fact, so are you.
What? But I thought you were...
Gays have kids, you know. It's a long story. It's just that I had a daughter. Her name's Laurie. She's 22 now. In fact, she's having a kid of her own soon.
Oh, Judy, we have so much to catch up on.
Well, it's not my fault, is it? I mean, you're the one that slammed the door in my face.
Well, Bud and Kitty and I were too young to understand. And Mom always went along with Pop, you know that. All we want to do now is make up for all those lost years.
Is that all?
What do you mean?
Well, maybe I'm getting suspicious in my old age. But it has occurred to me that you might have come all this way just to stop me from getting my hands on Pop's money.
Judy.
But in the meantime, perhaps we could call on you to liaise with the women when necessary.
Yeah, well, I'd like to help you, but I don't have a hell of a lot of time at the moment.
Yes, I know how busy you must be.
Yeah, I've been flat out. Top it all off, my sister's arrived from the States. I haven't seen her in 25 years.
What a lovely surprise. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not sure. I mean, the family turned their back on me a long time ago. They haven't wanted to know me since.
Oh, that can't be true now. She wouldn't have come so far.
Yeah, that's what she says. I'd like to believe her, but I don't know. I think I have a lot of thinking to do.
Well, I'm sure you'll decide the right thing. In the meantime, I hope you'll be able to fit us in.
I'll certainly do my best.
Takes time. No, I think she's weakening. Look, I've got to go. Will you stop worrying? By the time I'm through with her, she'll be begging us to share the money. Yeah, bye. I wasn't sure you'd come.
Yeah, me neither.
Come on in. I talked to the family earlier. They sent their love.
They did? Fran, I'm so confused. You can't just turn back the clock.
You can if you want to.
I do. More than anything.
Look, why don't you sit down and I'll call down and have some drinks sent up. Then we can talk about it.
Okay. Well, I got nothing to lose, huh? No more for me, no. Just a little bit, huh? You know something, Fran? For years I thought you hated me. I thought you all hated me. I never hated you. Even when I knew that none of you ever wanted to see me again, I never hated you. I'm just a cockeyed optimist.
I wouldn't have come all this way if we didn't want you back.
Hey, this place must have set you back a bit. I mean, look at this room. Why'd they sting you for it?
Well, it is eating up my allowance, but I don't mind. Just as long as we can be together.
If you really wanted to stay with me, why don't you just come over to my place? I mean, it's not the Ritz, but the rent's cheap.
You mean I could move into Driscoll House with you?
Of course you could. I mean, it's one way we could get to know each other a bit better. That's if you really want to.
Honey, there's nothing I'd rather do.
How long are you going to polish that table for? There won't be any table left by the time you're finished.
Anyone would think the Queen was coming. Wouldn't even wipe me nose for my sister.
Hello? Anybody home?
Hi.
Hi. I'm not too early, am I?
Of course not. Here, let me take that. Come through. Well, I'd like you to meet the girls. This is Ellen, Carol, Maureen. This is my sister, Frances.
Hello? I hope I haven't put you to any trouble.
3 hours we've been cleaning.
Oh, don't pay any attention to that one. She's allergic to housework.
Pigs.
Come on, I'll show you your room. Look, I'll do that. Eat. You know something, friend? Having you here is really nice. It's like,
A family?
yeah.
We've had some bad times. Maybe more than our share. Family shouldn't be like that. Now all this business about Dad's will.
Well, money always screws things up.
Doesn't need to. You know, us contesting the will could drag on for years, and in the end you could wind up with nothing. Not even the family.
Well, I have a feeling I'm not going to like this.
I'm not quite sure how to put it.
Try me.
Well, we've come up with a way to shortcut all the wrangling.
Go on.
If you give up your claim to the inheritance, we'll give you $10,000.
Yeah, I'll bet. In Confederate bills, huh?
Judy, there's no...
Oh, just shut up. Just shut up, will you? God, I must have been born yesterday. I didn't even feel that knife going in my back. You only came here to get Pop's money.
You can't believe that. I wanted to see you.
Yeah? Well, you're 20 years too late.
It's not too late, Judy. Hey, you could come back to the States. We'd all be together then.
Friend, if you only knew what that meant to me. So that's the whole crummy story. If I accept the 10,000 and forget about the will, it's welcome home, Judy.
And if you don't?
I'm deader than a dodo.
Are you sure they're only interested in the money?
Well, I'd like to believe that they're not. My sister Frances has a mind like a cash register. The weird thing is, I'm half tempted to accept it.
But why? If they're trying to cheat you.
I don't know. I mean, I've got a family here, Laurie and Jeff. I'll be a grandmother soon. Maybe I just don't want to be lonely in my old age.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You have no idea the hurt that I had when my family treated me that way. I tried to hate them, but you can't go on hating. It gets you nowhere.
I know.
I've got nieces and nephews in the States I've never even seen. I don't want to go and live there, but I'd like to see everybody. I'd like them to accept me.
Judy, you've got a criminal record. It's highly unlikely you could go to America, even for a visit.
I never thought of that. I'll bet you one thing, Frances did. Still, I have got an American passport. I wouldn't be the only criminal to get in and out of the country. Friend, I would really love to be able to go home. I would love everyone to accept me. But I have to think about all this.
Well, just make sure you do. It is $10,000, Judy. It's not chicken feed.
Good afternoon. My name is Askin. I'm an attorney.
Yes, Mr. Askin. Can I help you with anything?
I detect an American accent there. You are Miss Bryant.
Yes, I'm Judy Bryant.
Excellent. I've been looking forward to meeting you. As you know from our correspondence, Dunlop and Hall are affiliated with Eristoff and Swartz in New York.
And they're handling my father's will.
Precisely. And I'm happy to tell you the news is all good.
Really?
Yes, the case your family is bringing against the executors of your father's estate goes to court within the next few days. Unless, of course, the parties agree to settle. Now, we've had advice from counsel both here and in America. The will is sound and will undoubtedly be upheld. In our opinion, Miss Bryant, you are about to become a very wealthy lady.
I really want this place to work so much, but I can't do it without money.
Then take the offer.
Okay.
Terrific. Everyone will be so happy now. Especially when they see you again.
Yeah, I just wish I didn't have the feeling I failed. Driscoll House.
May I speak to Miss Judy Bryant, please?
Speaking.
Miss Bryant, Askin here.
Askin?
Yes, Dunlop and Hall. We met yesterday afternoon.
Huh?
Yeah, further to our little chat about the will, I thought you might like to know I received a copy of it this morning.
And?
My colleagues were right, Miss Bryant. The will is watertight in your favor. I shall need to see you, of course, to make arrangements for the money to be transferred to you from the States after the court hands down a decision. But that's a mere formality, of course, as I told you.
Uh-huh. And, exactly how much was it again, please, Mr. Askin?
Why, 100,000 US dollars. Miss Bryant, are you there?
Yeah. Hey, you have a copy of that will there?
Yes, that's right.
Would you mind reading it to me, please?
Certainly. Just a moment. Where are we? To my elder daughter, Judy May Bryant, and with it my eternal prayers for her forgiveness, I bequeath the residue of my estate after settlement of all my outstanding debts. After that, he goes on to set down all the terms and conditions that would apply if you were unable or unwilling to accept the bequest. Your sister and her family would...
Did he ask my forgiveness?
Yes, that's what he said.
Oh, God.
Miss Bryant, are you all right?
I'm fine. Would you mind sending me a copy of that will, please, Mr. Askin?
Of course I'll send you a copy.
Thank you.
Judy, don't! Judy! Judy, don't! Judy.
You bitch. You rotten bitch!
Jesus, you don't know what you're doing!
I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna kill you.
I was only trying to be fair to everybody.
Were you fair to Pop? All I ever wanted from him was his love.
Oh, sure you did. That's why you broke his heart, you filthy pervert! You think we wanted you back? All we ever wanted was the money. You make me sick every time you look at me. Judy! Stop it! Judy! Judy! Stop it! Judy, get the house! I think you'd better go. She's crazy. She tried to kill me. Please go. Oh, I'll go, all right. I'll go straight to the cops. She's a psychopath. I'm going to make sure she's locked up again.
Judy, why did you attack her like that? Your own sister.
She offered me everything. Everything I'd lost in the last 20 years. My family. Forgiveness. Even love.
Then why?
Have you any idea what that meant to me?
I know what a family means.
She's a bloody liar. She's a bloody liar. As soon as she finds out that Dad left me the money, then suddenly she loves me.
And you think Frances was after your money?
Because she's after my money. I would have given it to her. I would have given it to her. But oh no. She impersonates me to a solicitor so that I won't find out that the money was really mine. Of course I lost my head. Now I've blown everything.
You don't know that for sure. I don't think she was very badly hurt.
Oh, she's still going to go assault for me, isn't she? You know what that means? Oh, God.
Well, you don't know that for sure. She may be just as worried about getting into trouble as you are.
Why? It's because she impersonated me?
Well, from what you've told me, it was misrepresentation with intent to defraud.
Don't be stupid. I'm an ex-con. Can't you remember that? Do you think that the police are going to listen to one single thing I have to say when she has you for a witness? I'm sorry, Mrs. Davidson. I think it's just instinct. I can't wait to get away from that place. Thanks for going bail for me.
Don't thank me, thank the PRG.
Well, I never thought the cops would let me off that easily.
Well, obviously they're not interested in two sisters fighting each other.
Yeah, well, that's not what my parole officer's going to say.
Wait till you see him face to face. Telephone conversations are never satisfactory.
Good morning, Miss Bryant. How are you?
Nervous.
Of course. I don't suppose you've changed your mind.
Good morning, Judy.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Davidson. This is Mrs. Davidson, the governor of Wentworth. Mr. Erskine, he's representing me.
How do you do?
Good morning. From what Miss Bryant's told me, I understand the police might declare you a hostile witness.
Apparently so. But I'm going to say everything I can to help Judy, even though I'm appearing for the prosecution. I may have witnessed the assault, but in my opinion, it was justified.
I'll see that you get every chance to speak during the cross-examination.
Yeah, we're going to need all the help we can get.
Now, stop that. We need positive thinking. Hello, Bill.
John, g'day. What are you doing here?
The Bryant case, third on the list. Any idea what time we might expect to be heard?
Haven't you been notified? Mrs. Hunter was in my office at 9 o'clock this morning. She's not pressing charges.
You're kidding.
No, we're certainly not going ahead without her testimony. And right now, she's on a flight to New York. The case is dropped.
Thanks, Bill. I owe you a drink for that one.
My pleasure.
Judy, I am pleased.
Yes, so am I.
So you don't need me after all. Well, I'll see you later when the money comes through from America.
Thank you very much, Mr. Erskine.
Pleasure. Goodbye, Mrs. Davidson. It's been a brief meeting, but a very pleasant one.
Thank you. Judy, would you like me to give you a lift back to the halfway house?
No, I think I really need to walk.
Well, what's been going on in the big wide world, Jude? Have you had any news from up north?
Lizzie, I thought you would never ask. Just so happens I've got a little photo here taken in the hospital. May I present my grandson?
Oh, God. What a beautiful little kid. Oh, look. Another little drink.
Hi.
Thank God you're back.
Why, what's going on?
Little orphan Annie you took in this morning, boozed out of her brain. She's got half a dozen bottles in there and it looks like she's settling in for a session.
God.
Careful, she's a nasty drunk.
Oh, good day, love. Come and have a drink.
Oh, well, Tess, I've already told you we don't allow
Oh, just a little drink. No harm in having just a
I'll
little
tell you
drink.
what, you have all these...
Hey, what do you think you're doing? That's my dog.
You can't have the boot, don't you?
Give me back my...
Watch her, Jude!
Take it easy, kid, you me? Just take it easy,
Give
huh?
me back my grog. Take it easy. Whoa!
Hell, Jude, why didn't while you had the chance.
She's drunk, wasn't she? I didn't want to hurt her.
Bugger it. She'll lock herself in the room with that bottle now.
You're crying out loud. You can stay in my room tonight.
Thanks a lot, but all my gear's in there.
It'll be all right. Look, Mrs. Davidson has already told you. It was just a family argument that got out of hand, that's all. I mean, sure, I hit my sister, but it was only in the heat of the moment. And she's dropped the charges. I mean, she's gone back to the States.
Mrs. Davidson, the halfway house project has been running for what, almost a year now?
That is correct, sir.
Are you aware of any problems that have arisen through Miss Bryant's administration?
None. Judy is the one who solves the problems, not makes them.
Yes, indeed. Yes, that's very important. We should try to see the question. Well, this business with her sister, are you totally convinced it was an isolated incident?
Definitely. If I had been similarly provoked, I probably would have done the same.
I see. No, I think it's probably better if we do. Miss Bryant, you mentioned before that sometimes there are problems at Driscoll House which can only be resolved through a degree of force. Would you elaborate?
Yeah, well, last night, for instance, one of the women came in, she was drunk. I tried to take the grog off her, and she came at me with a broken bottle.
And what action did you take?
Nothing, I backed down.
I see. Why didn't you call the police?
Look, I don't want to get the women into trouble unless it's absolutely necessary. Usually we can sort things out just by talking about them.
Well, I strongly suggest that in future you call the police at the first sign of trouble. After all, they're trained to deal with these problems. As far as your parole is concerned, we have decided to give you one last chance to show that our faith in you has not been misplaced. But if you're accused of violent behavior at any time during your parole period, your license will be revoked immediately. Please remember that.
I will. And thanks very much.
I mean, Jude, have a look at this dump. And no offense meant. You've done a terrific job with it. It used to be a dirty, run-down dump, and now it is a clean, livable dump. But a dump is still a dump. And most of the women spit in your eye every time you want to help them. What you need is to get away from this whole scene. And just think, Jude, you get yourself a ritzy uptown address, at least you'll be able to read the graffiti. The kids up there spell real well. And why do I get the feeling I'm talking to myself, Jude?
Uptown, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Ritzy new address, hey? Well, guess what?
I'm all ears.
Driscoll House is going to change its address. So while Helen was trying to talk me into moving to a better area, I got this idea. Why not move Driscoll House as well?
Well, I can appreciate you wanting to upgrade the house, but the expense, I don't think Mr. Douglas...
What expense? I'm rich now, remember?
Well, what are you suggesting?
Look, if I buy a house and then I lease it to the PRG can hit the department for the same amount of money they've been paying. Well, this is more like it. Now, how come you didn't tell me about this place yesterday?
I told you, it's not officially on the market yet.
But it is available.
At the right price, but it's a bit higher than you wanted to go.
How much higher?
110,000. But you can see the value. It's good area, excellent condition.
Harry, you remember Gracie?
Who could forget her?
Well, Gracie was always a little out of your price range, right? And we're a bit in the same situation, so maybe we could make a deal. What's the lowest you reckon the owners will take?
Now, Helen, you know I'm only a one-man show. I got to make a living too.
So you got less overheads. How much?
100?
Remember Gracie, legs up to here.
What about 85?
95?
I'd buy it at 90.
Done.
Jude, you are a good friend and I do love you so, but if you show me that photo once...
Excuse me. You have already had your turn. This time it is for Michelle. There you are, darling. Isn't he the most beautiful baby you've ever seen in your life?
Oh, gee. All babies look the same to me, Jude, but no, he's lovely.
Well, he doesn't look like his grandmother, so he's doing all right.
Oh, thanks very much. How do I feel?
Oh, he's gonna be a spunk, I can see that.
You know, I wish she'd ring me. I haven't heard from her for ages.
Well, she's pretty busy, love. Dog-tired, probably sleeps every spare minute.
Yeah, I know, but it's not like her. I mean, she was going to ring me and tell me whether we were coming up there or she was coming down here.
Well, that's easily fixed. You get on the blower and ask her yourself.
Well, I don't want her to think I'm an interfering grandma.
Oh, come on, you? Go on, see if they want you to come up.
Helen's right, Jude. Well, you're Laurie's mother. She'll want you with her at a time like this.
Yeah, I know, but I can't leave this place.
Why? I can look after it. How much harm can I do in a couple of days?
Yeah, go on, Jude. You got to put your kids first sometime, don't you? And you want to see your grandson.
Yeah, I sure do. I know where she is, you know? It's dreadful. Oh, hi, Hayes. You going out?
Yeah, thought I'd get a breath of fresh air.
Oh, that's good. I've just been saying to Michelle I won't be able to go to Queensland. I mean, I can't even find out where Laurie is.
Oh, maybe you will today.
Yeah, I hope so. What's that?
What? I didn't hear nothing. Did you, Michelle?
What's in there? Oh, my God.
Let go, Jude. I'll leave it alone.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Now, you better have an explanation, girl, and make it fast.
Well, I was just looking after him, Jude. I didn't nick him or nothing. He was dumped out the back door. Oh, go on, Jude. Give him a cuddle. He won't bite. Oh, he's a beautiful little nipper, isn't he?
I mean, don't get me wrong, Hazel. I like babies just as much as the next bloke.
Well, that's great, Jude, because it'll be really good practice for your new grandson.
Oh, no, you don't. This baby cannot stay here.
But we could look after him.
Sure we can.
But we can't do that. He belongs to someone. We've got to ring the police.
The cops? Oh, but why? At least he gets some love from us.
Hazel, I know that, and I know how well you'd look after him, but we don't know the facts. I mean, what if his mother's ill? What if he's kidnapped?
Oh, we'd have heard.
There could be 100 different reasons. Supposing his mother's just some young teenage kid scared. Anything.
She ought to be shot. What sort of a woman dumps a beautiful little kid?
Usually they're very young and very frightened.
Yeah, that's right. I can remember with Laurie, I was scared stiff.
That's different.
Not really.
Well, what happens if you don't find the mother?
It's not like lost property. You don't get him back, if that's what you mean.
Well, what then?
Oh, there are lots of childless couples out there waiting for someone like this. He won't miss out.
But you miss out on me. What are you doing? Jeff! Oh, hi, how are you?
Hello, Judy.
Oh. Hey, where's Laurie? Jeff, what's wrong? What's happened?
Judy, Laurie's left me. And she's taken the baby with her. And the doctor said it was severe depression.
Yeah, that'll be postnatal depression. I mean, surely it wasn't severe. She's looking forward
Judy,
to...
there's something we haven't told you. David was born deaf.
What? Oh, my
It hit Laurie so hard that I was afraid to leave her alone for too long.
Oh, the poor little kid. Well, no wonder she's depressed. She's probably blaming herself.
She did at first. Then, after the test showed she'd had rubella in the late stages, we knew that she'd caught it at my boss's place. His kids were down with something. He didn't know what it was at the time. God, we found out the hard way.
Yeah, but surely when you found out, you would have gone to the doctor and had shots.
Don't you see, it was too late by then. She only went to the doctor when she started feeling sick.
Yeah, well, what sort of doctor was it? He didn't check her all out before.
Nothing could be done. It was too late. Anyway, that's not the point now. Laurie blames me for it. She's not thinking straight at the moment. All she can see is she caught it at my boss's place and I took her there. She doesn't want anything to do with me or the baby.
Oh, God, what a mess. Where can they be?
I was so sure that I'd find her here. You'll love David. He's a beaut little kid. He's no trouble at all. He only cries when he's hungry or wet.
That's funny. That's what Hazel said about Johnny.
Johnny?
Oh, my God. Jeff, there was a baby dumped here the other day.
Where is he, Jude?
Well, I gave him to the cops. I speak to Sergeant Wilson or anyone connected with the case. You'd think this was a state secret. Nobody knows anything about it.
Has I said anything?
Not yet.
Mrs. Bryant?
Yeah.
Sergeant Wilson here. You want to know what's happening concerning the child's mother?
Well, have you had any luck?
Oh, yeah. We've made some progress through one of the cab companies.
Well, where is she?
I found her.
Looks like she might be staying in a motel just outside of Wentworth West.
And are you sure it's her?
Not yet, but we're sending someone to make inquiries.
Look, I wonder if you could hold off on that for a while.
No, I'm sorry, that's impossible.
Well, I'd like to talk to her.
Tell him who Laurie is.
I think she's my daughter. I better go, Jeff.
Should be me. I'm her husband.
And I'm her mother. Anyway, that's not the point. You said yourself she's blaming you.
Yeah.
Well, then.
Who is it?
Hello. Honey, why didn't you come and see me?
I hear the police are looking for the mother of an abandoned baby.
Oh, Laurie.
You shouldn't have done that, Mum. You shouldn't have given him away. That's what you did with me. I gave you another chance. Didn't you realize that he was mine? I just can't look after David properly, and I knew that you could. You could go better than I could.
That's not true, honey.
I was so sure that you'd keep him.
Well, how could I have known that was David? How could I ever have imagined that that baby was my grandson?
Doesn't matter.
Laurie, the police want to see you.
I suppose they do. You told them it was me.
Well, they're not going to prosecute.
That's something, isn't it?
Honey, come on now.
Don't touch me, Mum. I just don't want to be touched.
What do you want, huh? Look, David is fine. He's in hospital. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. After you've talked to the police, you can go and pick him up.
David is not fine. He's deaf. I don't want to see him.
Well, then, what are you hanging around here for, huh?
I don't know. I just haven't got anywhere else to go.
Jeff's waiting for you. For you and your son.
You'd be better off adopted out like I was. Look, it's Jeff's fault he's deaf in the first place. Let him look after it.
Honey, let's just talk this through, okay? I mean, if you sit down with me and you just get it off your chest, you're gonna feel a hell of a lot better, I promise you. It'll be all right.
Don't patronize me. You haven't got the right. As far as Jeff's concerned, I don't want to see him ever again. Or his child.
Jeff needs you, Laurie. The baby needs you. And he's a beautiful little baby. Don't you think that David deserves some chance? Laurie's sick. She needs help.
She needs a kick up the backside.
Oh, I suppose you're the one that's going to give it to her, huh? Think about it, Jeff. Just give her some breathing space. Can't do any harm. It might be the only hope we've got. Oh, he's gorgeous,
He
isn't
looks okay to me.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be so keen to get my arms around a fella. I have.
Well, I'm very pleased you came along, Mr. Maynard. We had picked up the matter of the child's profound deafness, disorientation, lack of response to oral stimuli. Mentally, he's as sound as a bell.
Oh, that's a relief, Doctor.
Oh, look at him.
His mother, though, reckons that she doesn't want any part of him.
I think it's just because she feels she would hurt him or something, but that's not likely, is it?
It's possible.
Well, couldn't you give her something to calm her down?
Well, postnatal depression is treatable. These days, it's recognizable early enough to prevent possible harm to the child. But as to the mother, it all depends how willing she is to take treatment. Delay can lead, in some cases, to complete mental breakdown.
God, as serious as that?
I'm afraid so. Mr. Maynard, it's very important that you persuade your wife to accept medical attention. It's a long, uphill battle for her.
I was beginning to think that she was just stacking on a turn.
Far from it. Her illness is very real, and I'm afraid it's futile trying to force her to accept the child. She must take the decision for herself. Tragically, it can happen that the mother never comes to accept a particular child, even though she may have others.
Oh, there'll be no problem with anyone accepting David, I can tell you.
I'm relieved, I must say, that you're willing to accept responsibility as the father, Mr. Maynard. As he suffers from profound deafness, it's unlikely that the state would ever put him up for adoption. With no one to go to bat for him, he'd be institutionalized.
Well, I've had to chuck everything up to come down here. I haven't got anywhere to live. I just need to know how to get out of this mess.
Well, I can refer you to the medical social worker. She'll give you advice.
Thanks. Meanwhile, I was wondering whether I might leave David here at the hospital just for a couple of days while I sort out what I'm going to do.
You say you want the child?
Yes, of course I do.
All right. I'll recommend we run a few more tests on him. That will delay things a bit. But I warn you, it's only temporary. If you don't claim him, there's nothing I can do to prevent his discharge into state care.
Thanks.
That won't happen, huh? Look at
It'll be all right.
Laurie, what's wrong with you? What are you afraid of?
Jeff and I just wanted a baby. A normal, healthy baby.
Okay, so you've got one that needs a little bit more love and care. Is that any reason to just throw him away?
Oh, just leave me alone, Mum, will you?
Laurie! Laurie, now just think for a minute. Think of all the heartache that you went through when you found out you were adopted and went to look for me. How do you think little David's going to feel in 20 years' time? And what are you going to say to him when he does find you?
I'll just have to make damn sure he never does, won't I?
You should have never had a baby. You're not fit to be a mother. It's a long story, honey. It's not a very nice one. The baby was born deaf.
Oh, hell.
I know. And Laurie's completely rejected him. Jeff and I have gone blue in the face trying to talk her around. Doctor says it's postnatal depression. Well, whatever it is, it's really screwing her up.
Oh, Jude, I am sorry.
I know. I can't just let him raise the baby on his own. I'm going to have to go to Queensland when I can and help out. What am I going to do about the house and everything else?
Who is it?
It's me, honey, and Jeff.
Just go away, both of you.
Please, Laurie, we just want to talk to you.
Where are you off to, Laurie?
Anywhere. I really don't care.
Honey, why don't you put it off for a couple of days?
What on earth for, Mum?
Well, there's something we want you to see tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? What is it?
Well, I'd prefer for you to wait, huh?
You two are just wasting your time. Nothing you can say or do is going to make me change my mind.
Teddy bear, touch the ground. Teddy bear, show your shoes.
This is a group of our profoundly deaf children. Total deafness is very rare, and the child can usually hear some sounds, especially the low-frequency sounds such as ah and or. The children must also get used to hearing sound from infancy, and that's why they're fitted with hearing aids from the age of 3 months. How old's your child, Mrs. Maynard?
He's just a baby, 6 weeks.
Well, it'd be hard to establish the extent of his deafness until he's about 12 months or so. And then when he's 3 1/2, he'll come to a kindergarten just like this, and he'll be taught signing and lip reading.
Jane, on your seesaw, please.
Well, what happens then? I suppose he spends the rest of the time in an institution.
Oh, no, of course not. We're here to give the children communication and language. Some of these children go on to ordinary schools. Although it's impossible to say just what will happen to your child until we know the extent of his disability. So, give me the red pencil. Good. Now, run over to the door and shut it. Good girl. All right, next one. Ready for that next one?
It's wonderful. Do the children live here?
Only Monday to Friday. They go home on weekends. It's an advantage if the parents can continue the training over those 2 days.
Is it very hard to learn?
Oh, no. Look, you pick it up in no time.
Kids you've got there. And a beaut husband, too.
Yeah, I know. You're not too bad, though, either.
Oh, come on. What'd you think I was going to do, turn my back on you?
Well, I wouldn't have blamed you. I said some really horrible things to you, Mum.
Honey, everyone goes through a rough patch occasionally. I mean, hell, look at what I was like. The trick is to know when to take a helping hand.
I love you, Mum.
And I love you. Go on.
Come on. Hey? Ready? Hey, mister. It's your mummy. Want a cuddle from your mummy? Hey? Of course you do. There we are. That's okay. It's okay.
Well, Grandma, I think we're a family again.
Starting to feel like work.
Well, do what I do. Pretend it's exercise.
My men like comfort, not muscle.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Collins. Trevor. Hey.
I thought you might like a coffee break.
Well, you must be a mind reader.
It's my best offer today.
There's milk and sugar.
Lindy?
Oh, what? One, thanks.
Well, this is very nice of you, Mrs. Collins.
Well, I happen to think you're doing a very worthwhile job here. But I should warn you, there's others who still don't think that way.
Huh? What have you heard?
Oh, well, nothing serious. Just a few idle rumblings.
Well, I suppose that's to be expected. Oh, God, not more trouble.
Do you mind if I turn in?
No, love, I'll see you in the morning, and thanks for today.
Okay.
Hello, Mrs. Collins. Come in, I'll put the kettle on.
This isn't entirely a social visit, I'm afraid.
Oh?
It's Trevor. He's been a little upset since this morning's visit.
Well, you better come in and tell me all about it.
Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea, and I'm not blaming anyone. But he's very shy, and people tend to upset him sometimes. Oh, not intentionally, of course.
No. Well, that's a pity. We really enjoy having him here. Perhaps if we offered him some work, we'd pay him, of course.
No, Miss Bryant, you don't understand. I don't want him to call here at all. He was very upset this morning, and I think it would be best for all concerned if he was discouraged altogether.
Lindy! Look, settle down.
How can I have thought of that creep staring at me? Don't you dare refer to my son
Please,
in
let's
such a
just
manner.
cut it out. Now, tell me what happened.
I told you he was staring at me while I was getting undressed.
No, how could he see her?
Ask him, he was almost falling out the window to get at me.
Well, what do you expect if you don't pull the blinds?
We don't have any blinds
He's
yet.
a normal boy.
Oh, I know he's kind of normal. Perv now, rape later.
You say another
Please.
word and I'll
He's
slap you.
sick and dangerous.
Stop it. We know the sort of woman that you
Now, you
are.
come in here and you settle down now and get a grip on yourself, Lindy.
You don't understand.
All I understand is you can't get undressed in front of an open window without being looked at.
It's not my fault. There's no curtain.
I know. I'm not blaming you.
Well, I am.
Please, Mrs. Collins. Oh. I'm sorry about all this.
Well, I'm sorry too. But that's not good enough. The thought of that girl flaunting herself in front of Trevor is only a boy.
Oh, come on, he's 19.
And I don't believe it was an accident.
That girl has been through a terrible ordeal.
Well, what about Trevor's ordeal? It's my son who needs the sympathy and care. Please remember what I said before. He's not to come here.
Now,
Go out and get yourself a suntan.
Suppose I could.
I'd join you, but they're using my bikini as a bedspread. Oh. That's just the bottoms.